Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, I'll be talking about the AI chip ban and how it affects Nvidia. Investors are not happy about this, setting shares down 4.7% yesterday and even more today. Let's dig into the details of this ban and how it affects Nvidia. Let's start with an article that Reuters hit yesterday. The Biden administration on Tuesday issued a sweeping update to restrictions on exporting advanced artificial intelligence to China and other countries. They cite national security concerns. The original rules last year were a two-pronged test. One was for how much power the chips contained, and two was how fast they communicated with each other. Nvidia responded by creating chips that were just under the communications limit so that they could still sell chips to China. These are the A800 and the H800. I'll go over these in a bit. On Tuesday, US officials said they would focus on computing power alone, which has the effect of controlling a broader range of chips, including Nvidia's recent creations for China. Yes, this is a big deal. How big? Let's dig deeper. The new rules are a performance limit only, namely a transistor count. This ban also doesn't allow TSMC from sending chips to China since they also follow US rules. And TSMC is the most advanced chip maker. The ban is set for chips with 50 billion or more transistors. Now the H100, the creme de la creme of AI chips, has 80 billion transistors. So unfortunately, this falls over that limit. The GeForce, however, has only 28 billion transistors, so guess what? Chinese gamers can at least still game. Here's an article from Computer World. Enterprises around the world will find their supply chains disrupted. They won't be able to buy them from Nvidia or AMD any longer, and Chinese AI chip vendors like HiSilicon, Cambricon, Horizon Robotics, or Byron Technology will not be able to manufacture their own AI chips because foundries like Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing are also obeying the US ban, and the Chinese foundries, mainly SMIC, are not yet capable of manufacturing anything smaller than 14 nanometers. The restrictions imposed by the Biden administration will have a far more significant effect than prior US trade bans, with disruptions felt far and wide, experts said. TSMC founder Morris Chang recently warned that globalization is almost dead, with many countries trying to set up their own semiconductor fabrication plants. While this may sound like a good strategic move by various governments, excess capacity, as seen in the past, could lead to viability issues for chip makers, possibly resulting in another supply chain havoc in the global market. The big concern is this is an affront to globalization. The lasting effects will be felt for decades. The end result, unfortunately, is companies will be setting up their own vertically integrated supply chains for AI chips, so they will be able to avoid these bans in the future. This could permanently affect Nvidia's AI chip sales to China even if the sanctions were lifted. Financially, however, just how much does this affect Nvidia? Nvidia thought they had a way around the ban by releasing chips that were just under the mark. In August 2022, when the first ban went into effect, the company disclosed that it was anticipating $400 million in sales quarterly from China. Multiply that by 4, and that's $1.6 billion. Nvidia revenues last year were $27 billion. So China represents 6% of sales. Even worse, since AI is booming, this percent would grow over time. As mentioned, the A800 and the H800 were the Chinese labeled chips. And here's Nvidia's statement. Given the strength of demand for our products worldwide, we do not anticipate that the additional restrictions will have a near-term, meaningful impact on our financial results. And I agree with that statement, but focus on the words near-term. In terms of its impact on the global economy, a war in Taiwan, frankly, it would be a disaster. An absolute disaster. Not just on Nvidia, AMD would be affected, Apple would be pretty much out of business. I mean, it would be terrible. Terrible for everybody. It would be orders of magnitude as according to this article, it would be orders of magnitude worse than Ukraine. It is absolutely critical to the world's supply of semiconductors. I can't stress enough how important it is to avoid a war. And not just the money, but the lives involved, the people, the countries themselves, everybody that would suffer. It's just, it would be terrible. A terrible disaster. So how much is the supply and demand imbalance? Nvidia is set to create 550,000 H100s in 2023. Just as a reminder, Tesla needs 300,000 of these bad boys by October 2024 to reach their goal. That's just about near the entire H100 production capacity by Nvidia just for Tesla, not to mention all the other AI firms that need this chip. You got Google, you got Facebook, you got a million startups out there, you got ChatGPT, you got LLMs. It's just an enormous market, so these chips will be supply constrained for years. Long term, however, I would say 5+ years out, there will be an impact on Nvidia's financial results. And the impact will not be insignificant. They're standing next to each other, smiling. I'm afraid. Just kidding. The two top contenders for the 2024 presidential election are both heavily against China, so I don't see these sanctions relieving anytime soon. Make sure to check out the video I posted yesterday. It is complementary to this one. It's a great overview of Nvidia's business and actually has no overlap. I don't discuss the ban in that video. I figure the ban was worth its own video. We should get more clarity on the situation in Nvidia's next earnings report, which thankfully is coming out pretty soon. My cat says don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.